Good people. So today, what I'm talking about is, there's a fundamental difference between fear and wisdom. Okay, do you make decisions based off of fear, or do you make decisions based off of wisdom? And for a lot of people, I think a lot of people they get these two mixed up. Especially like as I was growing up, I noticed this like in a lot of people just around me, or just like me, like in the world in general. People they operate out of fear, and it's a natural thing that everybody does. You know what I mean? Like, we're fearful of a lot of different things. A lot of times people are afraid to go out there and do a career that's best for them. They might be afraid to get into a relationship with certain individuals or certain places or something like that. Some people are just afraid to be their damn self. You know what I mean? Fear is all it's all around us, and you'd be surprised how often we as people in general, we every day we make decisions based off of fear and not wisdom. Okay. And I found out that also people they think the decisions that they making is based off of wisdom, but it's truly is not. It's not at all. I'm telling you, a lot of people they base their decisions and the way that they act and interact with other people, or how they just go out there in life in general. They do it based off of fear. Okay, they do it off of fear, and so, but and with that being said, this is not in any way, shape, or form meant to like condemn people or try to make people feel bad or whatever, because everybody does it to a large degree. But I think that a lot of times we let the fear overcome us. If a lot of people are honest, if they were really real with you or real with yourself or whatever the case may be, they will come up and say, they did a lot of stuff that was purely based off of fear. And oftentimes the decisions that you make based off of fear oftentimes leads you in situations, scenarios that are not beneficial for you. Okay. They're not going to be beneficial. They might be beneficial in the short term, but in the long term, you're going to suffer greatly. And what do I mean? Like you could say, I'm telling you, you can see this in so many different atmospheres. Like, for example, you have, you have people, myself, and other people, man, they could be working at the job right now, right? Knowing damn well they hate that damn job, knowing damn well but the job, at least for right now, is making them enough money. So, but they, every day, something in their soul, God is speaking to their soul. Yo, we got to get up, we got to go, we got to do this, do this. And in my personal situations, I know I was stuck for a couple of years because it was like, you're afraid to get up and do something new. You're afraid to go do this. You're afraid to do that, and so you stay in those situations. You're like, man, what will I do? You asking all these questions, and they're legit questions, especially if you got bills, you got kids, or whatever. You just can't get up and just leave no damn job, even if you want to go on. But also another huge factor is like, what will I do? So it's a fear of the unknown that oftentimes that we get stuck on too. Fear of the dark. Okay. And so oftentimes it's like, you go through this life, and you stay in situations where you're afraid that if you make the move, sometimes you'd be afraid to just even move. You know what I'm saying? Or you're afraid in the sense that you don't know if what's going to happen. I think that's another big. I'm telling you, I think that's another big thing. It's the fear of the unknown. I think a lot of times gets a lot of people, myself included, because you don't know what's going to happen next. In comparison to if you do the same thing that you've been doing in the past, you already know what it's a guaranteed results because it's already been seen. But what do you do when you don't know? You know what I'm saying? Like that's that fear of that unknown, and it's like how do you navigate that? Like how do you take that leap of faith and go out there and jump and do that? Sometimes we stay in, I think I said it, but like, we also stay in relationships. Sometimes it's easier to stay with a person that we might not even really be feeling, or this person is bringing us down in some way, shape, or form. And, it's easier to stay with them because it's like, you don't want to go out there and try to look for somebody else and da 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 da. So sometimes, even if this person is getting on your nerves or this person's not doing whatever you need to do, sometimes you be like, man, they cool. I mean, like they irritate, and I don't really want to be with them, but it's like, man, at least for right now, they good. Like, man, come on, like, and so you might stay in a relationship with somebody that could be very toxic or whatever the case may be, because you're thinking like, man, you could do this with family too, you could do this with long-term friends, or if you've known people for so long, you're like, you don't know what life is like without them. Again, it's that fear, that unknown. If you drop this person in this relationship, you'll be scared to leave. Oftentimes again, because it's like, dang, man, can I find somebody else that is just as or whatever? And you might be looking at this person, and they might have qualities that you like, but it might be a good 30% of the qualities, and then you're looking out there in the world, it's like, the average person out there in the world, you might see them as like, dang, they got like 20%, so this person got 30%. You be good, but this person's still tearing you down, and this person is still whatever. So it's like, but you don't know what's gonna happen if you let this person go and then go out there and get something new. You know what I'm saying? Like, and so fear in a lot of ways it hinders us greatly. You know what I'm saying? Like it hinders us. But Again, I think we are very much indoctrinated. I think I was indoctrinated. I'm pretty sure other people are too, that you're indoctrinated with fear. But the thing is, when people are talking to you like adults or the world in general, it sounds like they're giving you wisdom, but the truth of the matter is it's like they're instilling fear in you. They're instilling fear, okay? And the difference between fear and wisdom, when you're talking about fear, fear is just like you're afraid of the unknown. You don't know what is potentially going to happen next. And so you get stuck into place because you don't know, you don't want to jump out there in the limb. Again, another prime example is people's behavior and their personality. A lot of people, if they being honest, and myself included, it's obvious that you don't just go throughout life and you just show genuine self all the time. But for a lot of people, it's very hard for them to be authentic and genuine in any way, shape, or form, because even in their own household, they can't be genuine or authentic. It could be ran by an individual, a parent or whatever. It could be ran by who are very, very, very narcissistic, and they will hate authenticity. Narcissistic people, they hate authenticity, they hate this type of genuineness and everything like that. And they will try to snuff it out. They will try to beat it up out of you in some way, shape, or form. So, and they will not like that. Like a parent would not like that. If you branching off, and if like the parent's not healthy or the parents are not healthy, they will not like you being yourself. They will not like you, and so they will try to beat you down and instill fear in you. You know what I'm saying? Again, some of them might be actually like they might in their head might think that they're doing well, but they will beat you down to instill fear, like what other people gonna think, what other people gonna say, blah 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 blah, which is not a bad thing. But in the same vein, you're never giving. They just tell you don't do it because of what other people gonna think, and they don't give it to you in the way where it's much more wisdom, where yes, you got to understand how people think and how people move, but at some point, it doesn't necessarily matter what other people think and move. But we don't get this extra side. We only get to this point where, oh, you got to care about what people think. And sometimes it is important to care about what other people think, but it's to a certain limit. It's to a certain limit. You know what I'm saying? Like, you don't take it where your whole personality is based off of what other people think. If you do that, then you're going to stay in a state of stagnation in your life. You're going to be stuck in life a lot of times because you're afraid to be yourself. You're afraid to be you. And again, this is not about condemnation, you know what I'm saying? But it's just a more so a way of like thinking about like how that fear, it really hurts us and it hinders us. And if you think about it, not only if you grew up in a family dynamic that was narcissistic, our society is heavily narcissistic. And I don't know if it's always necessarily been this way, but it's definitely this way now. This is why you get people who are different in any way, shape, or form. Oftentimes they get beat the hell down. You get individuality beat the hell up out of you. And it's crazy because everybody thinking that they want to be just like everybody else. And that's not a wrong thing to do. But everybody, they dress the same. Everybody, they talk the same. Everybody, they move the same. Everybody got the same cars, the same phone. They got everything. Everybody, like, it's like everybody's a damn duplicate copy of the next person. Nobody is original, authentic, or nothing like that. It's because we've been running from that. It's fearful to go out there and stand out on the limb and be yourself because you don't know whether or not you're going to get accepted. So oftentimes, again, even like with our society wise, it's, with it being so damn narcissistic, oftentimes if you have those, or the people have heavy narcissistic traits, these people literally, their whole life is based off of fear. It's based off of fear. They will try to portray something completely different, but their whole life is based off of fear. And these type of individuals, what they'll do, they'll go out there and they will definitely take personality traits from other people, or they might take them from you, or whatever the case may be, and then they will make themselves a Frankenstein of personalities. I call them the Frankenstein, the personality Frankenstein, where they taking different parts, different components, and they putting them all over themselves. They becoming this personality of a whole bunch of different people that they see out there in the world because they don't truly have they don't have their true self. So things are based off of ego, and so they'll take things that they already see is socially acceptable, that so they don't have to go out there on a limb and just do something completely different. No, 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 no. What they're going to do is they're going to take personality traits from other people, the way that other people move, the way that other people talk, the way that other people look, and then they'll incorporate it into who they are instead of kind of like being so more, because they understand that this is already socially acceptable. But the thing is, they're too damn afraid to jump out there and, cause they don't know who they are. Oftentimes, people are afraid to find out who they are. That's another huge component because of them damn demons, And again, because of how our society runs and how the average person is programmed to think in this much more narcissistic way, we're taught to think that we should be more so focused on how things look in comparison to how things are. And when we pay more attention to how things look in comparison to how things are, we will be a beautiful damn nightmare. We will be a beautiful nightmare. And that's exactly what you see with a lot of people out here in the society, in the sense that they look good on the inside, but they are torn up on the inside. Sorry, I messed that up. They look good on the outside, but they are torn up in the inside. They look real good, but they is like all levels of messed up on the inside, is because again, we've been taught our whole lives that we cannot be ourselves, that you shouldn't be you got to be just like everybody else. And a lot of people they know they different. They know that they got, but it's scary. It's very, 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 very scary, even for, even if they have an original personality, even if they have original talents, even if they have the original, it's scary because you don't know how other people are going to take it, how they're going to accept it or reject it. And the fear alone of the rejection, that's too much. That's too damn much. That's why oftentimes when people will see you or somebody else or whatever the case may be, and they see a person that's kind of like courageous and they get to be themselves, that gives other people, it gives them courage to now be themselves. You know what I'm saying? Like it gives them that inspiration because they're like, wow, there's a person that they can physically see that is literally like in this proverbial, they're like out there on the ledge, they're in the darkness, and they're succeeded in the darkness. It's like you can see, it's like almost like a person has ventured out into that, like that deep dark woods, and nobody's ventured out. We're like, everybody's studying like at the edge of the of the woods, not going in this deep dark pitch black woods. And they scared. Nobody wants to go in there because they don't know what the hell's going to happen when they go up in there. And then you have an individual that goes up in there. It's like they're carrying a lantern and they're walking in there. That gives other people courage to go in there too. You understand what I'm saying? Because they're now can venture into the darkness. They can venture into the unknown. You know what I'm saying? And now they are much more able to face that fear. You know what I'm saying? And so again, I think one of the biggest components that we have with fear is, I think we fear ourselves mostly, especially in the society, because again, we're taught to run away from ourselves our entire lives. We're taught to be looking like everybody else. We got to talk a certain way, look a certain type of way. We got to be in this clique. We got to drive a certain type of car. It does not matter what your skin color is. It doesn't matter what your culture is. There's always things set up in rules and regulations. But I'm telling you, it's set up in a way where it is it's not at our advantage. You know what I'm saying? But we everybody thinks that being just like everybody else is cool. And don't get me wrong. Yes, to a certain degree, again, there's a balance to everything. To a certain degree, it is important that you are like everybody, or everybody has the same type of standards or integrity or whatever the case may be. That's what a culture is. But still, there's different nuances even within that culture, meaning that people can still be themselves within that culture. There's just boundaries and guidelines that are set up. It doesn't hinder a person from being themselves. It hinders people who are themselves when they're killing people or something like that, or they're committing some type of action or negative, horrible action or whatever the case may be. Like, it's more so of that. Like it's just a structure that's set up in place. But even within that structure, we're able to be who we are. But this society, it teaches us that we got to be just like everybody else. We got to look the way. We got to. You got to make it till you fake it. But you got to fake it till you make it. But a lot of times people will be faking it. And it's not. Again, it's nothing about condemnation, because that's what everybody does. It's just like, that's what people do, But again, it will cause us to be in a state where we're constantly running from ourselves. So oftentimes we in our lives, you'll feel this emptiness. You'll feel this emptiness, like you're not fulfilled. Again, you could be in a job, you can be in a relationship, you can be anywhere in whatever endeavor. It's like, man, you're just not happy, and that oftentimes leads to your unhappiness. A lot of times people are not happy, and they're not. It's because fear runs a lot of their choices. Fear tells them that they need to do this. Fear tells them that they need to do that, and in doing something different, that's damn near the thought of doing something. That fear alone is just like it causes people to stop. But I'm telling you that when we're all acting the same way, and we're operating off of fear, that's how the damn devil works, okay? And I understand everybody might not necessarily believe in God or whatever, but this is just what it is. That is how the damn devil. God does not give people. He does not tell people. He is the one that kind of like operates. There's standards and rules, but you can still operate within that with your personal personality because God gives you whatever. He makes you special. He makes you who you are for a reason, on purpose. Okay, but the devil is the one that takes away your free will. The devil is the one. He wants everybody to be the same because it's easier to manipulate and control people when they're all the same. It's like a bondage that is there because yes, to a certain degree, when you are just like everybody else, you can fit in the crowds, you can go certain type of places, people might like you more or whatever. But oftentimes, if people being real, they will lose their self in that. Because if you're good with the world, if you are good with the world, that means more than likely you are bad with yourself. And what I mean with that is, with you being who you are, everybody's not gonna like you, especially if you got God like qualities and you're moving in the way that God needs you to move. Everybody damn sure would not like you. It's because of the more so spiritual component, whether or not people understand these things. You know what I'm saying? It's because you always hear like the light of God typically angers and pisses people's demons off. That type of like mantra. You know what I'm saying? But just in general, that fear is like this negative weight that holds a lot of us down. It pulls us down to the depths of hell, and we get it's hard to move with that fear. Very, very. It's like a dark place that we're all in. You're afraid to be yourself. You're afraid to do things. You're afraid. You're afraid. You're afraid. You're afraid. You let fear be the driving factor in everything that occurs in your life. And it's like, how do you take those shackles of fear off? Like, how the hell do you do that? So, and again, I'm telling you, God, like people, whether or not people believe it or whatever, I think God is that way. In the sense that when you have the fear of God, people become the start of wisdom is when you have the fear of God in you. That's exactly what it is. That's when you start to have wisdom in general. Okay, but oftentimes it requires you to let go of those shackles of fear. It requires you to have courage. And with that being said, how do you gain that courage and stuff like that? Sometimes you can start off small. Again, if this is in the case where you want to be yourself, you really want to truly be your authentic self, sometimes you got to take a step back from people and people of the world. Okay, and you got to understand one thing, that again, like I said before, you got to make sacrifices a lot of times in life. Either you're going to be with the world or you're going to be against the world. When you're with the world, you will be good on the outside, but on the inside, you torn up. But the opposite is, you can be against the world, and so on the outside, you can be torn up, but on the inside, you good. You know what I'm saying? Like that is the difference between God and the devil. The devil runs this world. God, that's why, people who do good is seen as weak, or people who do, you know what I'm saying? Like, who have certain God-like qualities, they're seen in a weaker position in comparison to people who got them devil-like qualities that's out there killing everybody, doing whatever they want to do. They seen as the strong ones. This is the devil domain. That's why everything is so ass backwards. You know what I'm saying? But in general, how do you start to get up out of that fear? Oftentimes, I'm telling you, sometimes it's like a leap of faith. And that's exactly a lot of times, we talking about like, God in general. Oftentimes it's like when God is telling you to do certain things, God is telling you to move, he will oftentimes tell you stuff that don't make no doggone sense. And what I'm saying is he'll put it like it's like a nagging, inner voice is telling you to do something. And I ain't saying that in a negative way, but you know what I'm saying? Like it's a voice that's constantly telling you to do something, and you cannot shut that voice off. You know what I'm saying? Like it's telling you to go in this direction, telling you to go in that direction. And it's like, no matter how much you try, you cannot shut that voice off. And oftentimes it's like you don't have no peace unless you do whatever that voice is telling you to do. You know what I'm saying? You can ignore it, but then that voice keep on yelling at you every doggone day. And it's like, it's damn near like, I'd rather go do it compared to the keep on here. And then, cause you feel this negative feeling when you don't, but when you do it, you feel this like release of like of goodness or whatever case may be. Well, oftentimes it's like having that courage means doing something even if you might fail, doing it something even if people are going to laugh at you, doing something even if you don't even know the outcomes. Okay, doing it any doggone way. That's oftentimes like what that courage is. Okay, and again, what's that acronym for fear? It's like the fear of, fear is something false appearing as real, or something like that. False evidence appearing as real. I think that's what it is. And what it's saying is like oftentimes we create a lot of the fears, and we create like the outcomes and everything like that. If we do something, it's worse. I've run into this a couple of times in my life. It feels so doggone bad. Have you ever been in situations like, oh, here, I'll give you this example. Have you ever been in situations where the fear or the punishment or the anticipation of whatever the punishment or whatever is about to happen is worse than what actually happens? What I mean with that is, like, when I was young, I used to have some fun in classes when I was young. I didn't listen to that doggone teacher all the time. So I used to get a lot of call homes and stuff like that. And so sometimes either my mama will pick it up or my stepdad will pick it up. And I remember every time my mama told she pick up that phone or whatever, or my stepdad, they told me they told the teacher. Typically the teacher would call it on speakerphone, then they'll take the teacher off the speakerphone, then you pick up the doggone phone, and he's like, I'm gonna beat your ass when you get home. When you get home, I'm beating your ass for what you doing, blah 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 blah. And then you get scared, and then you hang up. The teacher more likely already know. And so, oftentimes that, like, sometimes they'll call your mama or your daddy in, like, early in the morning, or they'll call them in the afternoon, whatever. But like the whole time after you got off the phone, you are scared. Like you nervous, and you like all over the place, because it's like, you about to go get that ass whooping once you get home. You already know what's going to happen. And so the whole time you dreading going home, you dreading going into that, whoever that parent is or whatever the case may be, you dreading that ass whooping. And so, you go through a whole day with all this anxiety, and then eventually you get into there, you get that ass whooping, you was crying and stuff like that. But truthfully, the ass whooping wasn't that damn bad. It wasn't like how I used to, the worst part about that whole situation was not actually the ass whooping. It was the doggone fear of the ass whooping. It was the anticipation of it. It was the nerve. Like, that was the hardest part. And so a lot of times that's what happens in our lives. Sometimes it's about that leap. Oftentimes you think you're going to fall on your face. Sometimes falling on your face don't hurt as much as you think it hurt. That sounds terrible. Or like, you scared that you gonna hit rock bottom. Sometimes rock bottom is not as necessarily negative as you think it is. It's not to say it's not hard and it's not gonna hurt, and it's not like it's gonna take you some work to get up out of there. But oftentimes the actual act, the actual consequence, the actual occasion is not as bad as the build up before it. It's not as bad as the anxiety that you get prior to getting that ass whooping of whatever situation that it is. And so that's exactly kind of like what it is in life sometimes too, in order to, like, start to release release the shackles of that fear. And it does take you time to start to pull away from society and start to pull away from people. And sometimes, again, when we don't have people around us, and this is one of those innate human fears that everybody to a large degree have, and that is you being by yourself in the world. And the thing is, it doesn't matter how big, how strong you is, how none of this. Oftentimes, like, especially if you ain't got God, it doesn't matter. If you by yourself, oftentimes you might feel like you're in a very, very vulnerable spot. The biggest, toughest dude, he might not be as anxious, but I'm telling you, to a large degree, he's still gonna be anxious, because people are gonna be gunning up after him. Because groups of people that can come up against him, even though he's strong, and he might strong arm, hell, he can take on 5 people at once. He knows that some degree that, like, no, he might go out that bitch in the blaze of glory, but he knows to a certain degree that, he cannot fight everybody. He can't beat everybody. Like, it's like the police force coming after a fugitive. You ain't gonna beat all the damn police force. You might kill 2 or 3 of them, but they will. It seems like these bastards keep multiplying every doggone day. Like, it's like, where the hell is these people coming from? You don't even know if that many damn people in your city, but it's like they got a whole goddamn army worth of a police force coming against you alone. So it's just, in general, it's like, you have that vulnerability. It's a spot of, like, fear, because it's like you don't want to be abandoned. You want to be left. You want to be vulnerable for the rest of the world to come and get at you. You want to have allies, people that look like you. That's why they have that saying, blood is thicker than water. People be thinking about, oh yeah, that means that we always should stick together for family, blah, blah, blah. Oftentimes when people talking about, blood is thicker than water, this was a primitive thought. This is all the way back at the time. This is not necessarily even a thought with God. This is the damn a thought of us as we as humans that we have adopted. It's not to say that God doesn't say you need to have strong bounds of community and stuff like that. But what people be talking about when they say blood is thicker than water, they're talking about, oh man, you got to stay with kin or this forever. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's almost like you got to always stay with it, and you can never, ever, ever leave and stuff like that. And it's like, why would you not? Because oftentimes, your family could be very, family, just because y'all family members don't mean that y'all getting along. Just because y'all hell, you could be, your family members could be worse than the people in the damn street sometimes. Like, y'all could be over there fighting, kicking, doing whatever. It's up and it's stuck every time y'all get around each other. So it's not necessarily like a family dynamic, how a lot of people be talking about how a family dynamic is. And then you might have some people on the street who treat you better than some of your family members. So with all that being said, you look at this statement of blood is thicker than water. Sometimes how often do people and they coming up in the world of some kind, and oftentimes it's the people that's around them, the family, and they don't necessarily have to be just family, but it's the people that they've known their whole life. They are their damn worst enemies. Those are the worst enemies. Is the people that have known you their whole life. It's the people that have been close to you. They might be kin or whatever the case may be. The last ones that you would actually think would do it. But that's just the nature of humans. That when you start to get to a certain level, you start to progress in a way, shape, or form. It's very difficult, especially for people that have grown up with you, especially if they haven't worked through whatever trauma they've been through, especially if they are not succeeding in the way that they want to, especially because they can't be themselves because they're fearful of themselves. There's going to be a lot of resentment towards you if you're able to do these things, if you're able to succeed in this way, if you get that money like that. People will hate your ass. They will hate you with every goddamn thing, but it's not truly about you. It's about themselves. Okay. Again, that's why that's another one of them components that people will be afraid when people will reject them. It might not be rejection in the sense that they're afraid that people won't like them or something, or like they're like some people will be afraid that their talents, their gifts, they know damn well they can do certain things in this world. They know damn well God gave them certain abilities, but they're afraid to use it because you know how other people, especially people that's around you, gonna get once you start to do those. Because you probably in the past have seen it when you use your gifts, the type of reactions you got from the people that's around you. And so you more likely develop this idea, I'm gonna dim my light, I'm gonna try to shrink down, I'm gonna do this. You try to do all that so you don't get that doggone backlash from the people that's around you. So you try to capitulate, conform, and that's how people, people of all nations and all, they'll come around and like nitpick you, talking about like, oh, you need to change this. They'll say, oh, something's weird with you, this and this and this, and oftentimes that's just be some hate and mess that people they trying to get you to stop being yourself. They're trying to stop being getting you to be who you truly are. Okay, because it's offensive to a lot of people. People hate to see that stuff because it's like they can't do it, and when people can't do it, they're gonna be mad at you. And a lot of these people, they don't have self-awareness. Again, with people with that damn fear, we run away from ourselves for long periods of time because of the trauma that we've had to endure because of whatever, and we based our lives and based our success, and we base our value based off of what we have in our hands, what we have in our body, or who laying in our bed, or whatever the case may be. So we based our value off of that. So it's all external. And that stuff will put a lot of people in a very, very insecure place, even the people that have the most of the most, because you will never, ever, ever have everything all in check. And you'll be so afraid, even when you have it, you're afraid somebody else is going to take it from you. That's just natural as human beings. You want to protect yourself. You want to ensure that you remain in the position of power because you know how people of the world are in general. So, again, you find yourself in these different scenarios where, again, fear is a driving factor. It's not necessarily a bad thing. It's important that fear is here. God made fear for a reason, but in the same vein, we take it overboard oftentimes. And it's difficult to get up out of that space of how do you get up out of that? And again, one of the biggest things is you sometimes have to detach from people. You have to start to distance yourself. People ain't gonna like that. People gonna act like you think you better than them. People will think like, you just acted funny, you weird or whatever. Like people of the world, they're not going to get it. They're just not going to get it. And oftentimes when you hang around certain people, you're going to become just like those people. That's why, with the Bible and stuff like that, it says like, bad company corrupts good morals. You are who you hang around. Okay. And so oftentimes people around you, their ideas and their way that they move and the way that they think in their thought process, it's not to be disrespectful. Some people's mindsets are like at a petty mindset. And I know people ain't gonna like that, but it's like, that's the truth. It's because they're not looking at the overall long-term big picture. They're only looking about what is right in their face at that moment. So oftentimes people, they will make decisions based off of what is in their face at that moment, what feels good at that moment, and not what feels or what's going to be good for them in the longevity, because you'll have to suffer temporarily if you're thinking about the longevity, but you'll have a great future in comparison to if you don't sacrifice now, you might not necessarily have the best future and you might not have the best future. Or like, people that out here, they get their money. You get your money real quick. Yeah, you get that quick, fast money, but that quick, fast money comes with a quick goddamn way to the damn jail cell. You know what I mean? Either hell or the damn jail cell. One of the two. That's what that quick money gonna get you sometimes. You know what I'm saying? In comparison to the slow money, no, you might not have it right now, but in time, you'll have money that sustains you, and you ain't got to be worried. You ain't got to be this, and this, and this. You know what I'm saying? But again, it's so many different components that adds to this, So with that fear, though, again, with our fear, it starts to influence so many other places of our lives, whether or not we know it. You know what I'm saying? Just like I said with that fast money, you can get that money real fast, but the fact of the matter is, like, it's not to say that you even necessarily moving out of fear in this situation, but even with that fast money, you're gonna have a fear, and you're gonna be worried in a sense that, oh man, when the Fed's gonna come in, when the Feds gonna come take me, who's the ops on the street that's out here trying to kill me? You know what I'm saying? Like, who trying to set me up? Like, you'll be paranoid all the time. But that fast money is fast, but it comes at some consequences. And again, like that fear, the fear, it comes with so many other components that you just in this state where you're anxious and it's hard for you to move. You like, you know what I'm saying, like that. It's almost like it's holding you down. It's holding you down significantly. And it can start to result in you doing situations, or it can result in you making actions, especially like with other people and yourself. It can result in you doing things that you will later regret. You know what I'm saying? Like, for example, like, I've had people in my past, and I've done this sometimes too. Have you ever been in situations where, you saw something that was going on that was wrong? But the majority of the people, that was kind of like in the position of power at that time, they were the ones, and they were kind of like influencing everybody to do something. You know what I'm saying? And you could be in this situation, and you already know how everybody can be. You know what I'm saying? So you understand that, like, if you say no, if you do something, if you feel like morally it's a wrong thing to do, if you say, or whatever the case may be, and you go against that, you know what I'm saying? Sometimes you'll be so afraid that of what everybody gonna think about you. You'll be so afraid that everybody gonna turn against you. You'll be afraid of all those things. And so, inside morally it's the wrong thing to do. You know what I'm saying? But because you're afraid of the idea of people, you're afraid of people and what they might do. It's almost like you start to go against yourself. You start to go against God, because you like are God, like what I'm like, not that you are God. You start to go against who God made you to be, that soul inside. And so you will do something based out of fear. You know what I'm saying? Like, you will go against your morals and go with what everybody else is doing out of fear, not necessarily because that's who you are. And so, in temporarily, you will feel good temporarily because people will seem like they accept you. Oh yeah, they'll embrace you and everything like that. But in the long term, you start to feel bad about yourself as a person. You start to hate yourself as a person. You don't like yourself as a person. And then that's when you really start to try to run away from yourself, because you don't want to look back at what you have done, the things that you said, and that deep down inside that you wasn't supposed to do. You knew it was not supposed to do. And it's not about condemnation. Understand, I'm not trying to make people feel bad. It's not about nobody judging nobody. It has nothing to do with that. But I'm just saying this is just the reality of the situation. And so you feel so doggone bad about what you did, and you knew it was wrong. You know what I'm saying? And so that stuff starts to weigh on you. Now, this guilt and this shame starts to also play a part. Now, that stuff will hold you down. And you thinking like, it was just a one-time thing, but sometimes you keep on doing a pattern where, you give in to people, you give in to what other people are going to think, you give in to the fear of what other people are going to think about you, the fear of what other people are going to try to come up against you. You don't want to get kicked out. You don't want to be outcasted. You don't want to be looked at in a certain type of way. You want to be respected, this, and this, and this. But oftentimes, not in everywhere, but there's situations, scenarios that a lot of us, we go through where we know damn well, if we do the right thing, that we know deep down inside, you already know what's going to happen what comes after that. You already see what people are going to do to you if you move in this way, if you do this type of thing, whatever. And so you'll feel good in the short term. You'll have the acceptance in the short term, but in the long term, you are killing your damn soul. And again, all the guilt, all the shame, you start to run. You start to run away from yourself because of the things that you have done in the past that you knew what was wrong, and you did it based off of fear. You did it off of whatever. But that stuff does not, you know what I mean? Like, it does, you don't get away with those type of things. Sometimes people feel like, oh yeah, I got away with it. You don't get away with that type of stuff. And you'll have negative karma coming back to you. And it's just natural that negative karma will come back to you. If you did somebody that was good, dirty, that was in your life, you got to pay for that. And how you pay for that is you understand people's value once they're gone. And again, everybody has done this. I personally have done this, and I know other people have done this stuff. So it's not about sitting there judging you or making yourself feel bad. But again, this is how that damn devil get at you, because he makes you feel bad in the sense that, like, you're a terrible person. He's condemning you. You know what I'm saying? He's judging you. And the fact of the matter is, ain't nobody on this earth without sin. It's not to say that you might have not done something that was, no one's out without sin. So nobody can sit there and judge you truly, but only but God. And so oftentimes the way that you get that weight up off your shoulder and actually start to regain that confidence is sometimes you got to let it be known who you are and what you have done. You know what I'm saying? And like make it plain. When you have secrets in your closet, it's easy for people to control you. When you have secrets in your closet, it's easy for people to get at you. It's easy, and that devil holds you bounded yet again. I'm telling you, it's like chains shackled onto you, because the very same people that's encouraged you to do the wrong, if you do something that they don't want you to do, if they do, they're threatening to expose you. They're blackmailing you in some way, shape, or form. And so now you stay in this state where you feel like you're even more bounded, because you don't want people to know what you have done, or you don't want you just don't want it to get out like that. And so as a result, you stay in chains. You stay in this chains of fear. You know what I'm saying? And I'm telling you, people will know that, and that damn devil will get at you through the vessels of people, and people will try to extort you, blackmail you, and anything else. But the thing is, where it happens is people can never use that stuff against you. The damn devil can't do nothing against you when you know and you admit of what you did. You say it out loud, and you take the the personal responsibility of what you have done. You let it all out, and you tell everybody, "Yep, that's exactly what I did." And it's like, you can sincerely apologize and whatever, and then you ready to take the punishment of whatever you've done, of whatever you've done. But in the same vein, you let it all be known. You let it all out. You say, yeah, this is what it was. You know what I'm saying? And oftentimes this is where you can start to break those doggone chains of fear, and you begin to develop something called wisdom. You start to develop something called wisdom. And when you're starting to break those chains of fear, it ain't gonna be overnight. But when you go back, you start to reconcile with people if you can. You'll go and ask for forgiveness for the people that you've done wrong if you can. The majority of the world, they're going to tell you to stay in your ego, stay in your pride. People will look at you like, oh, man, you that real one. You that real one because you stayed in your pride and you ain't go back and ask for forgiveness. Or sometimes, like, you see this on both sides. Like, for example, like some dudes, they'll be having a girl. They'll have a girl, but they homeboys, for whatever reason, it's kind of like knocking this girl or whatever the case may be. Or, she did something that she damn sure should have done, because you could have done something wrong to her. So whatever her response was justified. But sometimes, especially if other people are in y'all business or whatever, you might want to apologize because this girl is pissed off at you and whatever. She don't want to talk to you, or this and this and this. And so you might want to apologize. But because the world is watching you, people are watching you, you don't want to go to the state where you're supposed to apologize and stuff like that, but because of ego and pride and what other people gonna think about it, you might lose out on this woman, even though she's extremely good for you, and you might have done something that was wrong towards her. You know what I'm saying? But ego and pride and how other people gonna look at you, you will let that person walk. You'll let that girl go away. And as a result, you gotta now you gotta deal with chicken heads and scallywags after that, because you don't know, like, you ain't recognize the value of that. You might have recognized the value, but again, you were afraid. Same thing happens on the other side with the females. There's some dudes that do real good by women that be doing, but the friends don't like the doggone woman for whatever reason. You know what I'm saying? And they can convince that doggone girl or that woman to leave a doggone person, and that person's pretty real good with them. But that the girlfriends might they'll convince that girl that, oh yeah, you need to bop 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 and bop 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 bop, and then you'll leave, and then in time you'll recognize, like, God doggone well, that was a good person, that was a good man, and I had this and this and this, and it'd be difficult to find another one. It's almost like his karma coming right back around. And the thing is, you don't even know that your homegirls was trying to get up. They was definitely trying to get at that dude. They was trying to get. That's why she was encouraging you. I'm just saying. Hey, and sometimes you got to take that L. But it's, again, even in this situation, you being fearful because your pride and ego, because you don't want to be at a stage, and sometimes it ain't even got to be an audience that's watching, but pride just alone, you don't ask for forgiveness when you did somebody wrong. And so sometimes you'll be locked up in positions where that person just walks away and y'all just done, and you got to deal with that hurt, you know what I'm saying? Or that person dies and you ain't say sorry to him or whatever. You got to deal with that, and because you was operating off of pain and whatever, now you got another layer of guilt and shame that's added on the top of you. You know what I'm saying? So that's why it's always so important to do the right thing and be humble enough to ask for forgiveness. Be humble enough to go and rectify whatever wrongs that you've done in his life or to other people and stuff like that, regardless of whether or not they're going to accept it. Because some people will tell you right to your face, "Fuck you! I ain't playing with you. I don't like you. I don't care. I don't accept your apologies. Get the fuck up off my porch." That's how some people might come at you. And the thing is, you just gotta have to chalk that up to the game and understand what it is. And sometimes you might, you might feel like you deserve that person talking to you like that because of how you did them or whatever the case may be. But oftentimes, like you make your rights wrong, in time, I'm telling you, you're gonna start to lift up all those doggone internal burdens. And even if you gotta, you gotta sacrifice and do the punishment of whatever crime that you committed against a person or whatever, you know. But in time, I'm telling you, you're gonna feel much freer because now you at this stage where you ain't worried about what people got to say about you. You ain't worried about the lies and stuff like that. You start to be no longer bounded by the opinions and the sways of people because people they can't control you after a certain point. At least in the not at least not in a situation where they're trying to blackmail you or they're trying to get at you in a way where, oh, I know your secrets. I know your secrets. You're like, I don't give a fuck. Everybody know my damn secrets. Like you think you hurt me or whatever the case may be. I'm telling you, that damn devil will get at you. He'll get at you in that level where I'm telling you, people, they'll sit there and they'll do, and I think they do this in Hollywood. I don't know 100%, but they'll make you do certain things that is completely immoral. Now, I'm not saying all, but this is what the stories I've heard, like, like when they're talking about Hollywood in general, like how you get on, they got to make sure that they can control you because you about to have a spot on the global scene. No, you need to be controlled. You need to, and so you know what they do to control you? They make you do certain things behind the doggone scenes that, certain things behind the scenes that if you open up your mouth, that if you say something, if you bop, 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 then we gonna run your name out there. We gonna do this. We gonna do that. And I don't know if these dudes. I don't know 100% about the accusations and stuff like that. But a prime example of this, you could think of like that, like the Bill Cosby case. Again, I don't know if 100% if that's true. But I don't. But it's like it's crazy. So all these people that's around this dude, and all the women and stuff like that. Why the hell did this not come out sooner than it did? You know what I'm saying? You see things, same thing with like with R. Kelly or whatever the case may be. Then you got like Harvey Weinstein and a whole bunch of other these doggone people that's out here doing these crazy things to people. It's like, why didn't nobody come up with this? If everybody knows, and this is just like open knowledge in these areas, why the hell were these people not persecuted before? They weren't persecuted before because they more likely was doing something that the top dogs wanted them to do, But they more likely got to a stage when they pissed the right one off. They pissed the right one off, and then they ran their damn business out there. If it's true, well, I don't even know 100% if it's true, but my point is, this is a fear tactic that they will use to keep you in line with what they want you to do, even if it's something that is going against you completely. It's completely immoral. They want you to do something like. It could be to the fact where, you a heterosexual dude and they make you trying to do something with a dude in a film or something like that. And you're like, no, that's not who I am. I'm not about to do all that. Or if you don't do it, then we're going to bop, bop, bop or bop, bop, bop. And the same thing like with females. They might make you want to do something that was degrading that you don't, and I'm not degrading to the sense in the sense that that's not who you are. That's not who you are. So it's not about condemnation for people, how they live their lifestyles. It's not who you are. And so, no, you saying, I don't want to do that. That's not who I am. But I'm going to pull up your file. I'm going to pull up your file. And that can scare the hell out of the people as blackmail, as this and this and this and this. You understand what I'm saying? So that's why sometimes it's important to like really go right your wrongs and let it out and like be real with yourself and real with other people to a certain degree. And let it be known like, yeah, I did that. And I was wrong for what I did, and I'm ready to take the punishment of whatever. Yeah, like I did that. And it's about like, it's about like being truthful, because when you're being truthful, sometimes people, they be thinking when they admit things, that's going to weaken their base, it's going to weaken them. And the truth of the matter is the exact opposite. It's setting you free. The truth will set you free. It's really, really true in the sense that, you spoke up and you said what it was, and you took full responsibility for what you have done. And when you do that, you can also be in a stage where I'm not going to do it again. But it's like, I'm going to be real and say exactly what it is. Now, people can never hold that stuff against you. People start to lose the chains that they had around you. It's because they don't have dirt on you that you have to worry about. You know what I'm saying? And your soul feels light. Even if these people did not necessarily know what you did, you still might have that guilt. You still might go along with stuff just in case somebody, like that fear at the back of your head, like, oh man, if I don't do it, then people might, you know what I'm saying? But once you let it all air out, it's like, okay. And people gonna think what they gonna think, they're gonna move how they gonna move anyway. So it's like, it's about your journey and how you moving forward in life and everything like that. So it's not about you don't have to necessarily sit there in fear, because everybody make mistakes. Ain't nobody perfect, and everybody do stuff that they were ashamed of, and everybody did stuff that they was guilty of, or whatever the case may be. And the fact of the matter is, like just like how I said in the Bible, a righteous man falls 7 times, but he gets up every damn time. Just because you had made decisions in your life that you're not proud of and that you really wish that you could take back, sometimes you can't take it back. Sometimes that's just a part of your journey. And sometimes people who you ask for forgiveness, they ain't gonna forgive your ass. They still ain't gonna like you. They'll cuss you out and blah blah blah. And sometimes that's just the legacy that you got to lead, and that's just the way that you got to go. But at the end of the day, I guarantee you're gonna feel better in time, because you wasn't, you let it all hang out. You told the truth. You released that burden up off of you, and that truth then set you free. Now people can't use that stuff against you. You know what I'm saying? And now in time, after you get to that pass, you start to utilize wisdom. And so again, wisdom starts when you have the fear of God, whether or not people like it. But wisdom, a lot of times with wisdom does not mean fear. That's what people be trying to make it seem like, or y'all shouldn't do this, you shouldn't do this, and they're talking about like, and they're trying to give it to you like it's wisdom, but it's not. It's like really fear. You know what I'm saying? Like, have you ever had like parents, they tell you, oh, don't do this or don't do this. That's all they say. Don't do this. Don't do this. And that, like, they'll start to introduce this sense of fear, because it's almost like they're giving all the power to whatever scenario they're telling you to be fearful of. And they don't give you the other side, in the sense that they don't tell you how to operate in situations. They don't tell you how to operate out here in the world. Like, for example, like if you got a lot of young people, or people in general, they got scorned in the past. A lot of people, the reason why they act the way that they do, especially when they operate from trauma, at some point in their life, they had some vulnerable moment where they were vulnerable with somebody or something in some way, shape, or form. They were vulnerable and more likely innocent at the time. They had good intentions. They had all these different type of things. That damn devil that snuck his way into your life in some way, shape, or form, and through the vessel of people or the vessel of people. And it does not matter who the hell the people are. It could even be blood. It does not matter. If people are, if it's a human being on this earth, they are susceptible to the damn devil if they haven't worked through the traumas and things that they have worked out. They're susceptible if they truly haven't worked through the problems and the things that they have. So they are able to be a vessel being used against you. And those people, again, they also have to take personal accountability. They ain't about no, you got to take personal accountability for the things that you've done. Okay. But in your youth, in some way, shape, or form, somebody could have harmed you. And they could have harmed you, or using a relationship, in somebody stabbed you in the back. That stuff hurt. You know what I'm saying? And that's one of those things where you got to be real with yourself. That shit hurt. It hurt when you vulnerable to somebody in some way, shape, or form, and they do you dirty. And then it hurts if it's somebody that's real close. Again, like if it's blood, that shit hurt. That hurt. And a lot of people, what they'll do is they'll run out there in the world like, they ain't hurt. I ain't stunned that. I ain't stunned. And yes, they is. Yes, they is. Like people, like, yes, you are. Like people will be sitting there like, I ain't stunned that. And every 2 seconds they talking about something. Like, if you're not stunned, why you keep on talking about it? Is because they still hurting from it. But oftentimes what people think and what the world tells you to do is like, oh, you need to just get over something. And I always say, man, you don't just get over something, you go through something. Those are two completely different things. If you get over something, it's exactly how these people be talking about in the world. You are completely missing the lesson. You are completely missing a lot of stuff that's vital for you to move forward in life. And that stuff will still weigh on you. Going through something means that you are going through the doggone mess, understanding what you did wrong, understand what other people did wrong, understand what you did good, what other people did good, and what the scenario and these dynamics were like. You know what I'm saying? And now you're taking the lessons from that and moving forward. So you're going through it and you're growing better. When you go over it, you're not getting better. You're just gonna run into the same problem over and 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 over again. You understand? That's why some people are like, how can I not move forward in life? How can I not? Because people ain't getting them damn lessons. And it's hard for people to get them damn lessons, because if they don't, the reason why a lot of these people, it's hard for them to get the lessons is because they don't do that self-reflection. They don't do the self-reflection because they're afraid to look at themselves. They're afraid of what other people gonna think about them. They're afraid of what they're gonna think about themselves. They're afraid. So fear, it galvanizes and it keeps people in the stagnant position. And for a lot of us, we never know that. We think it like, oh, we can run away from it because that's what society tells you can do, or just get over it. Because society never tells you how to go through it. They never tell you how. So they instill fear instead of wisdom. Some people, some girls and dudes, they go out here, they get their heart broken. They get their heart broken. Now they build up this hard outer shell. They build up this hard callus. And with this hard callus, they create for themselves a protector of the vulnerable little child or whatever, or the innocent one that was hurt. You know, they're now that protector of themselves. You know what I'm saying? So they grow this very thick outer layer of toughness, meanness, and nastiness. It's not to say that it. When I say toughness, meanness, and nastiness, it's not in the sense that like a dude or whatever, they're strong or people are strong mentally. I'm talking about like they could be weak as hell, but like they just got this nasty, bitter ass like way about themselves. And the reason being is because they have built up such a thick outer layer that looks good on the outside, but on the inside they going crazy, and they're using it as a measure to try to protect themselves. This is why you see people go off the goddamn handle at all times. You know, you got young kids, a lot of these black kids in these damn neighborhoods. You be looking at them, why they so goddamn mad? Why they so bitter? I'm telling you, they're trying to this neighborhood, these areas. It's so damn harsh. It's so goddamn negative and nasty that you cannot be nothing more than this in these neighborhoods or around certain people. Because you ain't even got to just be in those neighborhoods. Hell, if you're around certain type of people, I always say, man, if you're around demons, you damn near got to be the damn devil. You got to be the devil around demons, because you can't sit there and act in godlike qualities around demons. The only way that you could ever be around demons is to become the motherfucking devil, period. You got to be 10 times, 20, 40, 50 times worse than the people that's around you just to be around them. You know what I'm saying? Because you don't want to get hurt again. You want to protect yourself. And it's that thick ass layer. But the thing is, when you add that thick ass layer, it's not out of a place and you're moving forward in life. People do not operate from a place of wisdom. They operate from a place of fear. They're protecting that child, that vulnerable or innocent version of themselves. They're protecting it at all costs. But the thing that a lot of times people forget is you also got to go back up on that doggone child. You got to go check up on that. You got to go back there and heal them at the same time. You know what I'm saying? Like it's one thing to protect, but if you just do that, you just gonna keep on running to the same problem. You're gonna go into the same problem over and over and over and over again. You become more and more jaded and bitter. And it's hard for you to even remotely elevate or go forward in life. That's how that damn devil got you in chains. And then you're afraid that other people gonna find out about what happened to you in your past. You're afraid of all these different type of things. And I know, because this is like, I've definitely been through that. Everybody's been through those different type of things. So we operate out of an unhealed, fearful state. Now, everybody that comes into our life, we don't operate and look at people with discernment. We don't look at them and we're looking at them in fear. That's why a lot of people, their mindset is, I'm gonna snake you before you snake me. I'm gonna bully you before you bully me. I'm gonna get you before you get me. I'm gonna tear people down before they get me. And people, they run around and they operate out of pain. These people is not happy and they not healed. They might look it on the outer surface, but they're not. There's a lot of people, they're not. I don't give a damn. I'm telling you, they build up a thick ass outer layer and it looks good on the surface. Do you know how many people they suffer in silence? You know how many people they suffer in silence every damn day? A lot of people. They suffer in silence. And oftentimes you got to distract yourself and get away from whatever has happened to you in the past. And again, you build up a protector, but you never go back to heal that child, that innocent one, the one in the back, that innocent version of you. And so as a result, it's almost like you're not walking in alignment with who you truly are as a person. You're walking in alignment like with what the world is trying to, you're trying to protect yourself from the world. And it's important to protect yourself to the world, but that's half of the job. Oftentimes, the pain and the things that you go through in life is a blessing from God. Trust and believe me. Come here and close. Trust and believe me. It does not feel like it's a blessing from God. I'm not lying. It is not and don't feel like a blessing from God at all. But oftentimes, the things that we go through in our lives, it truly is a blessing. The pain that we feel is a blessing from God, though it doesn't. Because oftentimes, the pain that you endure, God allows you to go through certain type of things on this earth, not as a negative thing and as a punishment, how we as humans oftentimes think, but God works the exact opposite of how our nature as humans typically are, meaning that we think that the pain is bad, and we'll be mad at God. Why, if God is real, why he let me go through all this pain? If God is real, why did he allow this? If God is real, he did this and this and this. And it's oftentimes it's the pain that you actually can even remotely understand God, because God is more sort of that spiritual understanding. Whereas we in the world, we operate in the very opposite. Why? Literally everything about us is completely ass backwards in comparison to that of God. And so that's why a lot of times, people who are seen as good or kind and stuff, they not looked at as the strongest people. They not looked at necessarily in the highest esteem, like a person that'll kill everybody, they'll rub up in the school and shoot up everybody. More people will gravitate and like look at and respect that person, and then some of these people that's doing good in the world and stuff like that. And or somebody that's being kind, some people will respect the person that's nasty and negative and disrespectful more than they'll respect the person that's kind and respectful towards them. That's not necessarily all cases, but that's what something like people will look at individuals who have godlike qualities not in a high manner. The reason being is because they're operating from the place of the damn devil. It's not to be disrespectful, but that's just what we are as humans. We're more susceptible to him because of what he does. It makes us feel good in terms of pleasure in the short term. But oftentimes when you're working with the devil, just like with anything, it's short. It's short. You don't have things that he gives you that damn long. You know what I'm saying? Like he gives you something, and just as quickly as you got it, you lose it. You know what I'm saying? Like, so again, it's like that fast money. You get that money real fast, but then there's no longevity in it. There's no longevity, but that's how he gets people. Even on this earth, we feel good until we we think it like, hey, life is good. You do whatever you want to do. But oftentimes it's, we only got a certain time limit. And the devil will give you everything that's pleasurable. That's what America does. And that's why America does what it does. It's trying to get everybody to just indulge in pleasure. Because we humans, we love pleasure. What human doesn't love no type of pleasure? But oftentimes that what leads you to your destruction, because your flesh is different from your spirit. And so with all that being said, it's oftentimes God can speak to you, and it's oftentimes that God can actually work with you. You understand God more, and that you actually kind of get close to God or feel better about yourself and stuff. It's through the pain that you've endured, It's going through your trauma in comparison to going over or getting over your trauma. Go through your trauma. I wholeheartedly believe that this society, in some way, shape, or I believe that they intentionally telling us to go over, because and I think that they're being vague for a reason. Some people will argue, no, they actually are telling what. No, I think what these people are telling us to do is to go over, because if you think about it from the perspective, if they actually are telling us to go through it, why would they tell us those different type of things? If they told us that, then we'll start to recognize, we'll start to heal as a people in general, and we'll start to fight back against those bastards. If you have people in a society, for the most part, if you can keep them fearful and you can keep them broken, you can control them. It's easy to control people. It's easy. It's harder to control people when they're in chains, when they're physically enslaved. It's easier to control them when you mentally enslave them. The best way that you can keep a prisoner is to make that prisoner think that they're not a prisoner. The best way to keep a slave is to make that slave think that they're not a slave. Period. But oftentimes it's the pain that we endure. But a lot of times what people do is, especially in this society, ego. Oh man, I ain't hurt. I ain't stunting. I'm good all the time. This dude talking about he good all the time. Dog, we can see a tear rolling down your eye. What are you talking about? You good all the time. You the biggest, buffest dude in this doggone facility. You got a tear running down your eye while you saying that. You're not good. But again, a lot of these, especially even in these doggone communities, this is why these kids so goddamn hateful. These kids is ready to kill every damn body, man, because it's the trauma that they experiencing, and they got to go back and they trying to get that goddamn hard, thick ass callous shell on the outer. You know what I mean? And that's why they're going around killing every goddamn body. They don't care about nothing. You know what I'm saying? And that's from a dark place, but they glorify all that. They glorify it all. They glorify you going out there killing people. They glorify going out there smacking up hoes, smashing bitches and throwing them to the side or something like that. They glorify all those different type of things. You know what I'm saying? And as a result, man, we becoming more and more demoralized, and that's their whole goddamn agenda. And it's oftentimes we act out of our pain. We get done dirty, and now moving forward, we like, no, we ain't going for that stuff again. And oftentimes that's why we'll look at somebody that's good or kind and this or this. Some people will look at that person as completely naive. They don't understand why this person act that way. They think that person is so damn sheltered and whatever the case. And truthfully, oftentimes those are the type of people, man. They have been through the most hell. They've been through the most hell in the world. You know what I'm saying? But we won't think it like, oh no, that person probably had their life on easy mode. And that's why some people will hate a person that's happy, or they'll hate a person that's like able to, advance to a certain level in life, is because it's like they be thinking that that person just had it easy their whole life. And I'm telling you, no, it's the very opposite. Oftentimes those are the type of people, man, they've been through hell. They've been through complete and utter hell. And the thing is, they were able to hold on. That's how I sneeze sometimes. Those very individuals, they were able to go through the pain that they have endured in their life. They've been able to sort through it a lot of times, and understanding what has happened in their life. And now, as a result, they're able to maintain their happiness, and they're able to maintain move in life without fears. Because first off, they got God. Because that's oftentimes you go through that pain. That's when you find God, and so you understand love, and so that love is going to cast out all that fear. But also at the same time, you begin to understand wisdom much more too. You begin to move and operate in life based off of wisdom, not fear. And when you're moving around and you're grooving around in this world based off of wisdom, you don't engage yourself in situations where you already gonna be drained. You can see stuff from a mile away, and so you avoid being in certain areas and doing certain type of things. You have kids or whatever, you will raise people not just by telling them no, don't do that. You will raise them with telling them why not you shouldn't do that, and then what are the repercussions of you doing those things. You know what I'm saying? Like it's like the wiser person will give you everything in comparison to they want they will tell you the whole story in a sense, or they would give you the whole pie, I guess. Whereas like if a person is just telling you, oh, you shouldn't be doing this or this and this, it's like they're not telling you why. They're not telling you how to maneuver. They're not telling you how to, you know what I'm saying? Like they're just telling you I be thinking about like these dudes or these females. Like you ever seen these dudes? Oh man, all these girls is hoes, and all these girls is bop 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 bop. A lot of these girls is hoes. A lot of these girls are that. But it's like the same vein. There's a lot of if you a good dude, how's there not good women? In the same vein, if you a good woman, how the hell is there not any good dudes? You know what I'm saying? But like you don't navigate. You don't go out there in the world like, oh man, all these girls is hoes and bop bop bop. No, it's like you got to navigate in a way where you understand like what you want in life. You know what I'm saying? When you go through that pain, you understand yourself more, and then you understand like kind of like what you want to have in your life. So you're not even gonna go in certain atmospheres or be in certain areas if people's behaviors and actions is not lining up with yours. It's like it's a waste of your damn time. Why would you go over there and do those type of things? You don't put yourself in scenarios and situations where you feel like you gotta protect yourself by killing somebody or doing certain type of things just to show that you tough. Because a lot of people in the world, what they'll do is they'll put themselves in positions to go over there and do certain things to people that's going to potentially be deadly. There's a difference between fighting for what's right or fighting for your respect and then doing shit that's completely goddamn ass backward and stupid. Some people be doing stuff that's ass backward and stupid and be claiming like, oh no, I'm just trying to fight for my respect. Some people do not be fighting for their respect. They be doing some just dumbass stuff. And I ain't trying to be a dick, but that's exactly what they be doing because they don't understand the wisdom between the two. Why you putting yourself in situations and scenarios where you got to go off on people like that? And don't get me wrong, I understand that sometimes problems is at your front door. But what I'm saying is, if you moving with some type of integrity, you moving in the right, and when I'm talking about integrity, meaning regardless of whether or not people are watching you, you stand on morals that you have. You stand on respect. So you gonna respect people even if they in your face or behind your back. You stand on telling people the truth to the most part. If they in your face or behind your back, behind their back, you're going to be who you are regardless. It doesn't matter, who watching you, because most people, they only going to be a certain type of way when people watching them. But then when everybody turn around and nobody's looking, they're going to be a whole nother person. You know what I'm saying? So like, that's where their integrity is coming on. You don't give a damn about who's around you. You at home, you yourself. When you out, you yourself to a certain degree. You still have to build up a little bit of the defense to ensure that you don't give everybody that vulnerable side, like that child. You don't give everybody that child. You don't give everybody that back there, because everybody don't deserve that. So you vet people. You move through life in a wiser manner. You don't just clump everybody like all these girls is just trash, and then all these dudes is just trash. You know what I'm saying? You will start to recognize, especially when you know yourself more, like, yo, I do not want A, B, C, D, E, F, and G in my life. So if you do not want A, B, C, D, E, F, and G in your life, you're going to start making decisions based off of what you know that you've been through already. Your pain tells you what you've been through that you don't want to go through that no more. You don't want to interact with certain people, but some people, they don't get this lesson. They don't get that lessons. Instead of going out there and moving in a wise manner, they go out there moving in a fearful manner, a very fearful, timid type of manner. Even if they're portraying like they're the opposite, they move in a fearful manner, not a wise manner. You know what I'm saying? Two completely different things. People who operate out of fear, they would think if you don't go over there and you don't shoot up the block like everybody else, or you don't go do this, this, and this, and this, that means that you weak or you soft or you this, or whatever the case may be. And because you ain't going over there and trying to start problems, or you ain't going over there trying to have a shootout, you ain't going over there trying to disrespect people, whatever the case may be. People will sit there and disrespect other people and think it ain't nothing gonna happen to them until these people get laid their asses down like it's a damn Sam Smith concert. Now everybody around here crying, this is tragedy and stuff like that. You don't do those type of things. But people who are operating out some type of trauma and they don't understand wisdom, they don't understand what fights to fight and what fights not to fight. And they don't understand not putting yourself in situations. When you know who you are, you went through your pain and you move in a wise manner, you do not need to prove a damn thing to nobody. Okay? Nobody gives a damn about because oftentimes what people will do is sit there and try to prove a point to a damn fool. Then they kill that damn fool. They shoot that fool or whatever. Or they spend all their damn time with a fool thinking that they're going to get something. And it's like they don't move in a wise manner and understanding this is a fool in front of you. The wise thing to do is to avoid that damn fool. The wise thing to do is to allow the fool to think that they won. If it's a basic interaction, it's some type of interaction, it's best to let people have it and have enough humility to understand what these people's mindsets is. It's more so important of getting these people the hell out your way in comparison to going back and forth with a damn fool. You understand when you have wisdom, you understand what fights to fight and what not to fight. And also you understand how to fight. When you are interacting with people and you're moving in a wise manner, you cannot fight every person the exact same way, and you cannot fight every damn body. People will bring problems up to your door, but people of the world, they will think that this is some type of weak move, and they're thinking, oh, you're avoiding confrontation, you're doing it. No, you get confrontational when it's absolutely necessary, but there's a lot of situations that's a waste of your damn time. Your time is precious, and you sitting here arguing with nothing's going to go nowhere with individuals like this or the people like this or whatever. You recognize it for what it is. It's not about fear, but people of the world, that's how they brain things. It's so as backwards. They will intentionally put themselves in situations to try to prove they're not afraid. They put themselves in dangerous situations. They put their family in dangerous situations. They jeopardize stuff off of ego, trying to prove a damn point, trying to prove a point. And people don't understand these doggone nuances. You understand what I'm saying? You do not fight every fight, and you do not fight the same way in the entire time. And what I mean with this is, like, Floyd Mayweather is like a prime example. You know, this dude has won every fight that he's ever fought, and that man has millions, if not probably in the billions. I don't know how much that man got, but that man got money. But you know, you look at Floyd Mayweather and you look at his career. Floyd Mayweather strategically fought certain type of individuals at certain points of time. He didn't fight every damn body. He was smooth enough, savvy enough. I don't know if it was just him or whoever's around him, but he was very advantageous with who he fought, when he fought, for the maximum amount of profit and for him to win. You understand what I'm saying? So he just didn't take every fight that came at him. Hell, even prize fights that he wouldn't fight in the past and he's gonna fight now. He had a reason for it, and it's worked out for him economically smoothly. You see, he raised his value based off of who he was fighting. He didn't fight every damn body because again, think about it. If Floyd Mayweather just fought every damn body that came across him, would you really want to sit there and watch that? Would you really care about this dude beating the average dude's ass every damn day? Do you care? No, you probably would not care because it's like, this is boring. I don't want to watch this. It's like a damn NBA basketball team going around and fighting damn high school basketball teams. Like, or you know what I'm saying? Like, it's like, what? Why would I watch this? This is going to be a blowout. You know what I'm saying? So sometimes that's what it is. Like, and he's intelligent enough to go and ensure that he's fighting certain fighters at certain times. And then when you look at his moves, he fights in a certain type of way. He doesn't just fight the same fighter every damn way. A skilled basketball player or whatever, the skilled whoever it is, they understand the nuances. They understand that they cannot use the same strategy to fight everybody the exact same way. War generals do not fight the same way at the same time with every damn body. They will lose if they do that type of stuff. So they have plans based off of who their enemy is, and they'll fight based off their enemy, and then not only fight based off of what their who their enemy is, the terrain and all that different type of stuff, but they'll also understand like the tactics and the way that this country or your enemy moves in general, in order for you to maximize the ability for you to win. So, and that's in the same vein that, like, in the with the comparison of Floyd Mayweather, his value goes down if he just fought anybody that just walked in his way. The same thing you got to think about yourself. Your time, your energy, and all that stuff is too goddamn precious to be sitting there arguing with a damn fool. And a lot of people in this world are goddamn fools. You got to spot that bad boy for what it is, and you got to get the hell away. But they'll sit there and entertain a damn fool because they're afraid that people don't think of them in a certain type of way. They're afraid that like they gotta walk around and they gotta say it with their chest. Some people actually think that strength is going around disrespecting other damn people. Like just doing whatever they want. That people be thinking that's strength. They think they're strong and stuff like that until somebody put 17 bucks in their ass. Now these people ain't got all that heart no more because they on the floor dead doing dumb stuff. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's just like people trying to prove points for no damn reason. Why? For the people out here in the streets, do you not understand that these damn people's gonna turn on you with the quickness? Do you understand nobody's gonna care about you when you in them damn prison cells? Do you not understand that half of these damn men or these women or whatever the case may be, the people that you looking up to, you trying to prove a point to, once they get into them doggone interrogation rooms, do you understand they gonna hit a note that Mariah Carey cannot hit? I'm talking about they're gonna be singing at the highest pitch tone that you've ever. They will sing in that bitch like a canary in them damn interrogation rooms. You think they're gonna be solid on you? You think day one gonna stay with you? Hell no. Halftime day one gonna be with your girl on day one, and you gonna be asked out. Who gonna watch out for your kids? Who gonna watch out about your mama, your people, and stuff like that? Who the hell's gonna look out for you? I guarantee tell you, it's not that damn many. So it's like you gonna sit out there and you gonna try to prove something to people that ain't gonna do a goddamn thing for you in the future. But people don't be thinking about this because they be thinking about like, wait, what's in my face right now? What's in my face right now? And so people, they make decisions. And how often do people be regretting the decisions they make, especially when they make decisions based off their goddamn ego? You know how many dudes or women or whatever the case may be, they sitting in prison for the next 50, 20 lifetime because they like, damn, why didn't I just walk away? Why didn't I just do this? Why did they get the revelation in prison? But oftentimes, especially with these young kids, they be trying to promote this image that you need to go out there and be wild, free, and they be glorifying this stuff. They be glorifying like killing people and stuff like that. They be glorifying all that. They be glorifying going to prison and stuff like that. What? So it's cold going to prison nowadays? They ain't trying to diss these, but it's like, dude, people in prison don't want to be in prison. But it's like they glorifying and stuff like that. And a lot of these kids, man, they be thinking like, oh yeah, it's gonna be a party up in there. It's gonna be a party, all right. It's gonna be you're gonna be a pinata. You might do that with Big Dick Tyrone, okay? You might in cell block C. That's what it might happen. But it's like you ain't get that part of the doggone information, did you? And that's where you really should be afraid of what? Or I guess you can't be afraid in there. You gotta fight. You gotta do something in there. Hell no, because Big Dick Tyrone is he's Big Dick Tyrone. You know what it is. So yeah, no. But you ain't gonna sit there and people will sit there and throw away their damn life off of ego because they not thinking at the moment too. And they in their emotions and not thinking. And it's like when you are in your emotions, you cannot make clear and conscious thoughts that's going to be beneficial. How often when you personally as an individual, when you was in an emotional state and you made decisions, how often do you regret those decisions in the future? How often did you wish that you not did something? Even if somebody was coming at you in a certain type of way, you wish that you would have not responded in the way that you did. That's what you might have wanted to respond, but you might have responded too damn harshly. You might have hit somebody in their face, and now you facing battery charges, lost a job or opportunity or whatever the case may be. You got people backing up from you or whatever the case may be. It could be a whole bunch of other negative things because you hit this person that was in your face, and you didn't handle it in the right way because you was like in your emotions. And that's where your wisdom comes in, that you cannot make decisions based off of feelings. Okay. But sometimes with that fear, the fear will override the damn logic. Sometimes your emotions will override everything. And so you like in this fight or flight stage at situations like this, and this could potentially be a life-threatening or life-ending or life-changing choice that you can make that might hinder you for the rest of your life. And then it's like, dog, what happened? And what happened is like, again, it's not to be disrespectful. It's not to condemn. It's like you made a decision based off of emotions and not off wisdom. Sometimes the wisdom is don't go in certain areas. Don't be around certain people. When you see people's demeanor and their personality, you understand who you are as a person. You don't even entertain that. You get the hell away from that situation. You go away. People of the world think, oh, man, that's fearful. No, you silly ass. People be so damn ass backwards. Why would you sit there if you know lions are right up over there, and you know damn well the lions is not about to sit there and have a tea party with you. You know how oftentimes what the nature of lions and stuff like that. You know damn well that there's nothing fruitful that's going to come from these interactions. Why in the hell would you sit there around a certain situation, place yourself in situations where you might potentially? The thing is, you could hurt people, you could shoot people, you could do whatever you need to do. You will win. But the fact of the matter is, what are the repercussions after that? Sometimes you might not even go into jail, but it's the psychological damage that you did on your damn self. You see what I'm saying? Like, it's like you never get away with those type of stuff. So it's like, why would you put yourself in situations, scenarios where you even have to remotely make these type of decisions? You think ahead of time, like, I ain't doing this, I ain't doing this. You're looking at certain people and their behavior and the way that they moving. You don't want to be in no damn body bag, and you don't want to put nobody in no damn body bag. And if you have to put people in the body bag, that's a different story. But you're going to minimize as much as possible any type of frenetic energy or nasty energy that people got out there in the world. You're not moving and operating out of fear. It's out of wisdom. People don't grasp these damn situations. They don't understand these things. Why in the hell will you put yourself in situations where you might have to potentially hurt somebody, kill somebody, even if you would win? Why? Why would I do these things unless it's absolutely necessary? It's a different thing if somebody's coming up in your house and trying to harm you. Yeah, you got to lay that motherfucker out. That's different. It's just off principle alone. You ran in the wrong house. I'm going to give you goddamn three warning shots, okay? In your ass. I'm going to give you 3 warning shots in your ass, okay? And then after that, I can't help you. You better run away with these 3 warning shots in your ass. That's all I can give you. But after that, I might have to, because that's a different type of scenario. That's a different type of situation. But I'm talking about preventable measures that you can make and moving in life in a wise manner. You know who you are. You know how you get. You know if a person disrespects you, what you're going to do. You know if a person talks to you this way, what you're going to do. So you sit there and you observe people. You can potentially observe people from afar. You observe situations from afar and be like, hell no, I ain't participating in this because somebody going to die today if this person disrespect me, or if this person do this or this, because you see how people are and you see how they get down. Wisdom is that in understanding, sometimes you got to take humility with wisdom. That also is an important thing, is humility. Sometimes you got to let people, I'm telling you, let fools have it. Let them think that they be winning arguments. Let them think that they're winning whatever they're trying to, you got to understand with fools, oftentimes they're insecure to a severe max. They truly operate out of fear. But it's like, you can't sit there and just go back and forth with people. That's a waste of time. That's how that damn devil gets you. Getting you in drama and 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 drama. You know what I'm saying? So you start to cut certain things away and cut certain people away, certain situations, certain scenarios, and you move through life in a wise manner, understanding you already know what the potential outcomes are. Based on the potential outcomes and what you want for your life, you want some type of prosperity or you want a certain outcome, you're not going to place yourself or do certain actions that could potentially jeopardize that if you can see it from afar. There always are things where you cannot readily predict. But if you know human nature, you know how people move, you can still make precautions if you have to go there. But your main your main focus is not to go there with people. So one of your main ones is to observe the landscape, observe the people, observe the threats. And then, your last one is, if I have to, I got to hurt somebody. If I have to, or they come at me or mine, I'm going to have to do what I got to do. That's a wiser manner. Do you understand what I'm saying? It's about sometimes, again, it's just like humbling yourself enough to understand, like, people don't act like you, they don't move like you, and whatever. You see people, they operate out of ego. You see why they move the way that they move. That doesn't mean that you sit there and allow somebody to disrespect you. What I'm saying is you got to understand why people do what they do, why they move the way that they do, and you got to understand who you are. But again, it requires you to go through your trauma, because you're able to withstand difficult, annoying as people like this or whatever. You're able to understand how to deal with them in a logical manner, because people like this like to get you, get emotional rises out of you. They like to get emotional rises. And so if you fall in that pit, or you fall into that trap, you'll be doing stuff and you'll be sitting behind bars like, what the hell did I just do in my life? Well, you like, what the hell just happened? And I'm telling you, oftentimes it's because you got to take a step back and take a deep breath. And this takes time. It takes time. It takes time. But you're not afraid to go out there and interact with the world. You're confident in the world now. You're not moving in fear. You're moving in wisdom. And oftentimes you'll also realize with people don't understand wisdom, because it's not to be disrespectful, but they make very, very foolish decisions. So a lot of people are never going to understand why you do the stuff you do. Sometimes you go through things in life earlier than other people do. Sometimes God will have you go through things earlier in life in comparison to other people. I always give a story, like when I was younger, I used to do certain type of things a certain type of way. And when I was doing these things, I had people around me at the time. It's like, dude, why are you doing this? They thought I was off. They thought I was weird. They thought I was da 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 da. I don't know. And I really didn't give a rat's ass. They didn't know why I was doing the things that I was doing, but I knew why I was doing things. I saw where their future was going to go, and I saw where I was like, I'm not about to do what everybody else is doing, because I already know it's wrong. Even if everybody else don't agree with me, even if everybody don't understand me, and even if I got to walk by myself, I'm gonna do it, because I know that this is the right way to go, and I know I don't want that outcome. And so that's exactly what I did. But oftentimes you have to endure some type of rejection, persecution of some kind, or whatever the case may be. But again, in all cases, when you move in wisdom, sometimes you're going to suffer in the short term, but but it will always be beneficial in the long term. And so with that being said, as I got older and I was able to start to achieve certain things in my life, the very people or whatever, hit me up like, yo, I see what you're doing. Like to see you do your thing, blah, 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 blah. And it was like, yeah, man, I just really wish, you actually, I can see why you did the things that you did. Like, I understand now. It's like, and sometimes, people be like, man, I really wish I would have listened to you and blah, 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 blah. And it's not necessarily that you sit there and you gloat or, whatever, but it's like, you understand that you might be at just a different level in terms of understanding and wisdom than other people, even if they're older than you. Age has nothing to do with how wise a person moves. You got a lot of old ass fools running around. They're all over. They're very, very old. They could be much 20, 40, 50 years older than you and still making terrible decisions and stuff like that. Not that you're judging them, but it's like you realize everybody ain't got that wisdom and everybody don't understand. And sometimes a lot of people, they don't go through what you go through and they don't know why you do the things that you do. They'll understand in the future, but they don't understand now. They will think it's weird, peculiar, or whatever. But people will get it in time. And so sometimes that's just another thing that you got to endure and you got to go through. And that also might mean you might have to have some isolation. But it's in that wisdom that you understand that this is a good thing. And that, especially if you got God, it's a done deal. You'll be good, and you'll have peace too. That's another thing. You'll have peace, because a lot of people, even though they in the in crowd, they can never leave the in crowd because they've been there so long. So it's very scary to go out there, and people, they would like it, and they would really wish. People will never probably tell you this. Some people, again, because of the ego, they might not ever tell you, but they really wish. It's like, I really wish I was like that person. I really wish I could leave and not be afraid to go where I'm going. I wish I could be somewhere and I don't need all these people that's around me. Like, I really wish. They might not ever say that stuff to you, but people will sit back and they admire you for those things, because like, and again, at first they could have been judging you. They thought it was weird, this and this and this, and now as they get older, they see, wow, they see the value in it now. And so that's sometimes, again, that's what you might have to endure. That people ain't gonna understand you when you're in their life. Sometimes, you might meet a lot of people just not gonna understand you, because they don't understand why you do the things that you do. They don't understand why you move. They don't understand how important peace is to you. They don't understand how important quality relationships is. They don't understand, because the world says, oh, if you got everybody around you, that means you're cool. But it's like, no, you don't even know these people. You could be around. I've been in situations. I know other people can relate to this. You could be in a crowd of people and you feel so goddamn alone. It's like you feel like you all by yourself. You know what I'm saying? Just even though you're around all these people. So it's like it doesn't really matter. And sometimes when you're not around all these people, now you don't feel like you're alone. It's a weird phenomenon. But I think that's like God, that he's with you. And it's like, when you're by yourself in comparison to when you're in a crowd of people. You know what I'm saying? But just in general, I'm gonna wrap this up. There's a complete difference between fear and wisdom, okay? And you gotta truly, truly understand that there's a complete difference. A lot of people in the world they will try to instill fear. Some people will try to instill fear on you on purpose, okay? But it takes time for you to understand truly like what who's doing this and why they're doing it and everything like that. But it takes some time. It takes like a journey. It does take time. But the sometimes the first step is to start to admit who you are and then apologize to people and start to lift those weight. Because I'm telling you, a lot of people, they'll never tell you, but it's like a lot of people will hate themselves because of what they've done to other people. They feel like a bad person. They feel like this, and this. Even if they run around here trying to lie like they not, they feel extremely like a bad person. And and they gonna keep on running because they don't want to deal with that hurt and that shame and that guilt that they've been through. So they got to keep on throwing other people under the bus. They'll keep on running, but they'll feel terrible about themselves. They don't like themselves. They will not. They don't love themselves. They ain't gonna never say that, but that's one of the reasons why. And then oftentimes it's difficult for them to step outside and go do other things, and that they really want to pursue because you're gonna need courage. And oftentimes you're not gonna be around a lot of people. A lot of people ain't gonna probably go with you. So it takes you having to go inside and look at that trauma and work through it in order to even have the balls to get up and go and do something that you really want to do in life. You know what I'm saying? Because you feel like you can't do it because you weigh down with all that negative energy of guilt and shame, you know and fear that people gonna find out who you are and da da da. So oftentimes it's just like it's about understanding who you are and start to and jump out there on a limb. And people will reject you when you start to really try to just be yourself, because it's like people of the world, they don't like that. They don't like that. They want people to be around them that's just like them. And so when you different, they ain't gonna like that. But it's like you can't be. I'm telling you, don't be afraid of that. You might think, oh man, that's scary. It's not. I'm telling you, in time you'll understand, man. Like sometimes being alone, it's so much better than even being with people. And you got love for people. It don't mean that you're not just but it's about just you don't have to rely on people. You can rely on yourself. And with that being said, people, even if they try to instill fear, people they like to control you with fear and guilt and shame. But like when you work through all this stuff, they can't control you with that no more. You're not afraid, especially if you got God and love. You're not afraid of certain things. You're not afraid to go out there and jump off the cliff because God got you anyway. So if I die, oh well, oh well. Like it's like and don't get me wrong, I would love to go have to make a couple extra dollars, but it's like, hey, I know where I'm going when I get up out of here. Like I'm not worried about that. I'm here only for a short time. This is not my damn home. Like I'm not too worried about that. I get to go home. And I'm in a win-win position. But it's about also having integrity and doing things regardless of what other people say and what other people going if they see you or if they don't see you. And doing the right thing and telling the truth about things and telling the truth about yourself. You know what I mean? You ain't got to be you tell the truth in the sense that you authentic and stuff like that. But you ain't vulnerable to everybody. You give it to people that truly deserve it and stuff like that. You know what I'm saying? Like you ain't gonna feel bad about yourself about how you treat people and how this and people ain't gonna have negative things about people will actually, let me say this back. Even if you're in that really, really negative, you're a really, really negative person, stuff like that, people gonna have stuff to talk about you with. But also on the other side of the spectrum, if you really walking with God, people have a problem with you too, because it's just the world. You're not of this world. So the world's gonna hate you. You know what I'm saying? But it's about just getting to that point where you want to be who you are and the best part about yourself. And the first step oftentimes is letting go of the fear, and admitting the truth. And in time, I'm telling you, you'll start to replace that fear with wisdom, and you'll be able to move and navigate in life at a much more efficient manner, and you'll be able to get things done, and while simultaneously keeping your peace, and you don't have to sell your soul just to be on or just to do this or just to you'll be happy. You'll have much more fruitful relationships. You'll be able to pick better partners. You'll be able to instill value into your kids and stuff like that, and be able to instill values in your community, and more than likely make things go all around you. You know what I'm saying? In comparison to letting the next man do it for you, you're going to be able to do it. And if you're a woman, it's the same sense. So there's a complete difference between fear and wisdom. So you should always, always, always strive to have more wisdom than you have fear. So I'll catch y'all on the flip side. Peace.